Hello there, Only One Kenobi here, Only One. So I want to show you my cantina shelf, show you all my aliens that I have to date. The value of cantina aliens on the secondary market skyrocketed not long ago with the first rumours of there being a cantina for HASLAB. And stay tuned till the end, I will give you a comment on the leak, or whatever it is. I have a few thoughts on that, but if you haven't seen Bosk's Bounties video, do check that out. That's a pretty short, concise summary of what's gone on. And it's interesting, that's all I'll say. But for now, I really want to focus on my collection. This is an episode of Shelf Indulgence. And primarily, I'll be looking at this section here. This is the Tatooine section, if you want to call it that. All these shelves reflect doings and goings on in Tatooine, on Tatooine. And below here is my cantina shelf. I'm on a gimbal at the moment. I'm just going to give you a wide shot of what I have on here. And some things you will have seen before if you follow my channel, that is new. I've had that for ages, that Donkey Kong machine. But I put it on there recently. I'm having a bit of fun, ladies and gentlemen, just messing around. But it's funny though, isn't it? It's very 1980s, although it is a 70s film, New Hope. It led into the 80s era, the golden era of Hollywood. Some great sequels to that film, 80 and 83 and such like. But look at Boshek standing by the machine there. I'm going to come off this gimbal, go handheld in a moment because I want to zoom in and feature some characters. But again, apparently the secondary hand market has gone bonkers for some of these figures. A lot of them, including him and this fella, and a few names I'm going to have to put on screen in post-production because my name isn't Daniel Chart and I don't have them all committed to memory. Or indeed, Trenton Dodson, congratulations man, he is the champion of the Universal Toy Collector Star Wars quiz. He had a very deep knowledge of Star Wars species and names and characters and stuff, very good. I thought I knew a lot about Star Wars, but anyway. Shall we go in close, ladies and gentlemen? Have a quick look at the patches. You've got the band here, which is the latest TVC band. I did have the, where are they now? These ones I used to use. Those guys, but they look great, but they have been surpassed by these now. Power of the Force 2 Tequil trio there. Some of the Power of the Force 2 characters, Kabi and the other fellow, Muftuk. The Muftuk, is that right? Is that the species name? Can't remember. And a few others. I bought that at Echo Base Live for a bargain, as I did with him, for a bargain. But they have gone bonkers on the secondary market. I think I got them for like £15 a piece, man. And a few others there. Cricket Man in the back there. Oh, woman, never assume the gender of the alien. God knows I've made a few mistakes in the past with that. I mean, look down here, you've got, that's a woman apparently. It doesn't sound like it. But still, what's that guy's name there? The Scream dude. Alice Helrot, am I right? Alice Helrot. And then you've got Wooher. Now that is a character that definitely needs a redo. And of course, pulling back, goes without saying, the Tonica sisters need doing for the first time, you know? Great, so starting at the back there, you've got that Deveroni I mentioned before. I think there's another figure for him somewhere, maybe Saga Collection, but this was a 3-pack. And this is Tequil. So Dean Backhouse, I was talking to Dean not long ago, we were talking about the difference between all of them. That's Tequil, then you've got this one who has also been known as Zutton, but that isn't, that's Zutmore, and that's the holiday special character, I would say. And then this is regular Zutton, and apparently there's a blue version of him, or it's a blue Snaggletooth with that head on it, which is almost like a blue outfitted Zutmore. Interesting, but it would be awesome if they were to bring out a blue Snaggletooth like that, a Zutton with blue. That would be a smart move for HASLAB, would it not? I think that would be very, very good. Just an easy job for them, innit? Repack that, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so there's the band. Very nice 7-pack that. Really good. You can get him individually carded too. These figures are not so good, the quality of them, but they are, you know, a necessity if you want to collect the characters. And then speaking of whoever that is, that's just why we loved Two Tubes in Rogue One, isn't it? This character, I have to say, this is a custom by my friend Lau. He sent me that. And they've done a really good job there, giving some silver paint and stuff like that. Then you've got this guy, who is exactly the same figure as this guy. And this Donkey Kong machine was gifted to me years ago by my mate Matty. I went through a spree of loving Donkey Kong, and I do have an actual Donkey Kong machine in my garage, but I got a score of 570,700. That's my all-time great top score. And then we have Greedo. This is a custom Greedo. This is the Vintage Saga Collection one, but he has got the vest of the Saga Collection one, not the furry one, which is much better. So Hasbro should do that when they bring out an definitive one in TVC. Then you've got this guy, the first alien pretty much you see. He looks like he's on a pole, doesn't he? And when he comes up, he really does look like it's just a head on a stick. But that head's undeniable. He sort of like cocks his head to one side. They're all drinking blue milk as well. Look at the blue. And then you've got Boshak. I've just moved him over here, actually. Boshak was stood to the right, near the droid detector, but I've moved him here. And who better to stand next to the 80s machine, the 1981 Donkey Kong coin-op, than Boshak? There's something about him being a spaceman. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with Space Invaders or something. I don't know. But then behind him, you've got, wanna buy some death sticks? But he was in the Outlander pub. Is it the Outlander? I think it is, from Coruscant. And there are his death sticks on the desk there. And he's just great to Easter egg again. I love that word, Easter egg. Where does it come from, other than the chocolate egg? Zutmore, as I said before, from the Power of the Jedi. Then you've got this guy, Goat Man. I'm really sorry, don't know his name. Look at his eyes, though. And in the movie, he looks like he's leathered as well, doesn't he? A beautiful figure, this one now. The Saga Collection, I believe. This is Saga Collection. And it's Mamo Nadon, of course, Hammerhead. A lot of people have an issue with the figure, the fact that you can't sit him down, because he is sat down, isn't he, in the movie, but I love that figure. Way better than the 30th anniversary one, and also the Power of the Force 2 one. It's just beautiful. Look at the sculpting and all that. Very mythological. You know, look like a mythological character from a storybook or something, isn't he? Zutton, you've seen him before. You've got Cad Bane here. I'm only joking, that's not Cad Bane. And I've forgotten his goddamn name. I looked it up the other day, and I swore I would remember it, and I'd committed it to memory, but I ain't. Cricket Guy, as Mark Hamill called it, which is an interesting character. Not much articulation, but very interesting. Looks like somebody from Fantasia. This is terrible. I need to fix this. This came with a job lot of loose figures back in, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago. I got a job lot of figures, and he came with them. And I thought it was from Star Trek or something. I had no idea who it was. But apparently he was in the cantina. So he's not got any accessories, blasters or whatever he might have. So I need to get rid of him and buy him again. I think it's in the 2002 line, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have, of course, Dr. Evazan, TVC. Not the pink eye variant. I think there's 2 variants you can get of him. I can just focus on him. And then, of course, you've got this guy. I have him without the weird hand tentacle things. Of course, Ponda Barber, Walrus Man, is there. In the background, Alice Helrot, Scream. And then you have a bottle of JD, which is from Luke B as well. A good friend of mine who has gifted me lots of figures. Speaking of what he's gifted me, he sent this figure of, this is Fit Finlay. Or he was called Finlay, I think, in WWE, but I didn't really watch him when he was in that. I watched him when he was in the WCW on Nitro, and he had a few good matches with a few various people, including Rick Steiner and others. But I just thought I'd get them both together. That inspired me to buy the Scott Hall, basically, this figure here, because it's a really nice figure. It's very rare to see figures in a 3 3/4 inch for wrestling. Apparently you can get Bret Hart. I'd love that one. But Scott Hall is just so appropriate. Look at him at the bar there, man. I love him. I love Scott Hall, the NWO for life, brother. But there he is, man. He's with Wooher there. I just thought I'd Easter egg him in there at the bar. And there is Indiana Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Usually I have Indy inside my barge here. Now inside this barge, I used to have Indy in there next to Jabba with Dr. Afra, another archaeologist. But because you can't see them in there and I never have this open, I thought I'd get him out. So Afra is somewhere else right now. So there's Indy just on his own there at the bar. In the background is, wow, that should be Wolfman. I can't believe that George took Wolfman out and replaced him with him, but he's still an interesting species. Speaking of Wolfman, I do have a Wolfman that I need to open somewhere. Laxibrak I'm talking about. And I can't find it. It's somewhere in my house, but it will turn up. I've not got rid of it or anything. But that was also gifted to me by somebody. I think it was also you, Luke B. And then, of course, we have a custom Luke Skywalker. That's the 30th anniversary body. It's good because it's got the hilt on his belt there. And the head of the Stormtrooper disguise, Luke. And that is with the Last Jedi version of Ben Kenobi, which is very good. He's got the hood up like he did in the... I think he had his hood up and he was inside there. Maybe not, actually. Right, taking it down. But it's a beautiful face for Alec Guinness, that. This is pretty much how they would have looked at the docking bay. Han with his gloves on, and with a headset. Maybe he would have been on board wearing a headset. So I see this as the definitive Chewbacca for wandering around Mos Eisley for some reason in the cantina. So there they are, both together. In the background we have Anthony Daniels, and there is the tea-urn that just came with my new TC14. If you want to see that video. I just didn't need that because I've put the TC14 on my new Hope shelf on the Tanti 4. So I've put the tea-urn there, appropriately next to the actor who played C-3PO, not TC14, but Anthony Daniels. Or who did play TC14? Did Anthony Daniels get in the costume for that? Oh man. And then you have Mossad Bined. Apparently that was that designed for Jabba the Hutt? I think he's Jabba's accountant or something like that, isn't he? But that might have been one of the original designs for the actual Jabba the Hutt character. But I don't know. Luke B, speaking of Coca-Cola, I have a Coca-Cola bottle there and a advert in the background, just a little bit of advertising. I will get a few shillings for having that in this video. I'm only joking, Coca-Cola, I have no idea about that being there, but that would be nice, wouldn't it? Just imagine that, a bit of product placement there on the Only One Kenobi channel. And then there's this face. Look at this guy. When you read up about him, it scares you a bit more about him. He just looks like someone smoking at the bar when you watch A New Hope, but actually he's a nasty and he sucks out your brain, does he not, with those tentacles? Wow, I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of him. And again, you don't see him in the cantina, but he's very much associated with that whole section of the film. There's your man Garin down there. Beautiful face that, but they could really do with updating. I think the robe definitely needs an update. That robe's looking pretty lame, that cape. But that's the lot. That's my shelf for all my cantina aliens. And as for the cantina leak, well, there's not much more I can say other than they need to now hurry up the process and bring us the official reveal. I do hope that it is something nifty with the pack-ins. Tonica Sisters, I really hope for, Wooher, and whoever else they can do. The blue snaggletooth idea is nice. That sort of like must be on other people's minds as well. But what I really don't understand is the whole deluxe thing. Now, when I watched Tim's video, it was probably wishful thinking on my part, but he put an interpretation in my brain which was of interest, which was maybe that if they did a deluxe version of this thing, because I don't want to have to buy two of them and I really want the Tonicas loose. So if they could bring out the cantina and if they could bring out the carded figures, however many there are, and whatever figures that you have carded, you also get them loose, I would definitely pay for more for that. I don't want to have to buy two cantinas, but I would buy one cantina and two sets of figures inside. If that was the deluxe option, whatever this deluxe thing is, I will do that. It's very weird, and that's why I don't want to comment too much on it, because a lot of it's speculation. Why did we see it? I have no idea if it was a mistake. I mean, a bit like the Rancor thing. That was either the biggest mistake, blunder of the year, when Patrick said the Rancor, I mean that, which I think it was a mistake. But it did not get people talking, man, after it happened. And this leak has buzzed the internet, man. So, I don't know. I'll leave it there. But do check out Tim's video. I'll leave a link to that in the description. And I will talk some more about the cantina, of course, as the weeks go on. But thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed that. Leave a comment below. Subscribe if you are new. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only one. Out.